Welcome
Woo!
to Beer, the Skydiving podcast. This is our latest episode. I'm not going to say what number it is because
It doesn't matter.
no, it doesn't. And then they're not evergreen, and then people feel like they're listening to something from 10 years ago. So this is just our latest episode. It's recorded today. As always, I'm Brian McCauley, one of the hosts of the show, and we have the infamous
Joe Rouse.
Joe Rouse. Dude, last week, I thought you said Joe Ralph. and on the recording, I said back to you, Joe Ralph. And then obviously you didn't say Ralph.
Yeah.
But I was like, this isn't right. This doesn't seem right.
I used to get that a lot from people who didn't know me. Would you say your last name is Ralph? No, dude. It's Rouse. House. With an R instead of an H.
Yeah, it definitely caught me off guard. And then, listening back to the recording, I was like, nope, he did not say Ralph at all. It was Rouse. So
I would hope I could get my own incorrect. Although I still get junk mail addressed to Joe Ralph. Roufe.
Roufe.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Ralph. Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
Roufe.
Dude, speaking about junk mail and all this stuff, I don't want to make this political by any
Oh, God, dude.
stretch of the imagination.
This isn't political. This is called, can we save some freaking trees?
Okay.
Every day.
Well, yeah.
Last.
So I
Lord.
did vote by mail. All right.
Yeah.
And I got notification today saying that my ballot was received, but it was rejected because of a duplicate application. So now I don't know what to do. Like, what do I do? Do I just go to my polling place and vote in person since my
What is it, the 2nd, right?
5th?
Is it November 5th? I thought it was
Yeah.
always on the 2nd.
No, it's the 5th this year.
Okay. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go to the polls. I did it mail-in last year and the year before. But I'm
Yeah,
just gonna...
it's really convenient. Like, it's nice, but apparently now there are
I don't
problems.
know, man. Who knows? I think my polling place is like 2 minutes down the road. Or at
Yeah,
least it
mine is
was-
not far.
Yeah, it was few years ago. I think it was right at the middle school, so it's at the end of my block.
Yeah. Yeah, mine is not far. I could definitely go, but why? When you can mail it in,
Why, when I don't have to even leave my house?
Right, but apparently you can't mail it in, so
But
I guess I'm just going to show up.
I assume you're talking about the amount of propaganda, I would say, or campaigning
Well,
mail, campaigning mail that you've gotten in the mail lately.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
And-
stupid.
Normally I wouldn't be harping so much on like voting, but whether no matter which side you're on, this is an election to vote in. Like it's going to come down to every single vote. So it does, like I said, it doesn't matter which side you're on, but I want my vote to count, so I'm going to have to figure that out.
I would just go down, or
Yeah.
I don't know if you can contact your polling place or your local representative's office.
Well, whatever it is, I'll have to make sure that I know I'm registered. Like, my registration is fine, but
Yeah,
I don't know if I have to vote by mail now, since I already applied to, or if I can go to I gotta call the courthouse. That's what I have to do. I gotta call the courthouse. Yeah.
that would be a good idea.
Yeah. So, how's your week been, man?
Same as usual. I gotta make time to do what I want to do. If not, I work till 5 or 6.
It's too
But-
late.
Yeah. I'm getting pounded pretty hard lately at work, which I guess
That's what she said.
that's what she said. But not too bad, man. Got the Halloween party coming up this Saturday.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody's invited to. I think we put 7 o'clock start, but I'm gonna tell people they can show up around 6 or something if they want. I don't know who has kids that might be coming that want to lug their kids out till midnight.
Yeah, well, that's our thing. We would definitely be there if it was a no kid weekend, but it's a 2 hour drive there and then a 2 hour drive back, and then however many hours we're at the party, and that's just it's a lot with kids, especially
Yeah,
late, and like they don't know anybody, and
there's gonna be some kids here.
yeah. What
Yeah, we're
what
gonna
ages?
uh, anywhere from 5 to 9, probably,
Oh, okay,
or
so like
or
like younger
16.
kids, up to 16.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yep.
yeah, maybe next year. I saw some of your decorations though; those are pretty sick.
Oh, dude, did you see the wingsuit?
Uh,
My
well, that's
wingsuit
the
guy.
one I was specifically referring to. Yes.
Yeah, dude, it's so cool.
Yeah, but your front yard looks pretty sick too, from what
Yeah,
I've
we
seen.
yeah we got that down, uh, set up kind of late. Usually last year we set everything up at the beginning of October, and this year we were just so busy. And Bridge Day, we kind of waited until the very last minute. So we just we started decorating and putting up stuff last week. So
Are you guys? I mean, obviously you're a big Halloween family. You guys get into the Halloween.
yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, our theme this year is Alice in Wonderland.
Right
So
on.
I'll reveal my costume on the next episode.
We'll have to get some video of that.
Yeah, I'll get some pictures.
All right. Cool. We'll post
Yeah.
them.
Um,
Did you get any jumping in?
I have not. That's what I was going to ask you, but I guess there wasn't enough people to fly a plane today.
Not today. No, which is a bummer because the weather was beautiful.
Well, how are the winds?
I don't know. The weather was beautiful though. I didn't even look. It was pretty clear yesterday that there weren't going to be enough people, so I didn't even look at the
Yeah.
winds this morning. But it would have been nice. I rescheduled my Wednesday for the chance that maybe we could jump today, but it didn't happen.
Uh,
I did get a jump in on Friday last week. It was
got IPA?
yeah,
King
yeah.
Air?
No, 206.
Oh, that's
Um,
right.
yeah, it was one of those situations where, the winds are right on the cusp of what I'm comfortable with, like right on the cusp of what I've jumped before, and it was a little hairy, and kind of. So what I ended up doing was a hop and pop. I went up and got out at 55, and the winds were coming from the south, so like straight 180. So in order to land at SPA, you got to be over those trees and come in, land towards the runway, and it's not a lot of room that way. Um, I found myself a little further over the trees than I would have liked, and I made it back, but just barely, and just barely. Like I was probably 20 feet into the LZ by
Oh,
the
yeah.
by
That's
that
pretty
tree
close.
line. Yeah, it's pretty close. And as soon as I went below the trees, like the wind stopped, so I just went straight down.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you
Yep.
know,
That's how it
um,
works.
yeah.
It's exactly how it is
So
at the DZ.
yeah, it was. That was my one and only jump. I decided let's not test fate. Uh, I got through that one okay. I didn't end up in the trees, and I thought I was going to. I really thought I was going to be in the
Oh,
trees.
no. Oh, my God.
Yeah, the whole way down, I'm just looking at. It, I was like saying all the four-letter words, and just thinking, man, Erica's gonna have to.
You decided to go for it, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The wife's gonna have to come get me from the hospital. Like this is gonna suck. I'm gonna land right in that tree right there. Like this is gonna suck. I I literally kicked the trees as I went over them. Like my
Oh, yeah.
legs were in the top of the trees.
I did that a couple weeks ago, but I did it on purpose. I rode in brakes.
I did not do it on purpose.
Yeah. I have it on video somewhere. I don't know. I'll have to dig it up.
But yeah, so that was that for that day. And I thought, you know what? I tested fate once. I'm good. Time to go home. So that's what I did.
Ooh, let's see. Here, check this out. Here it is. Wait, nope, it's not going to do it. Oh, nope. Still,
Oh, what's wrong? You don't have
we're
the...
still... Select a... There we go, here we go.
Yeah.
There it is.
What kind of suit is that? Is that a freak?
ATC4.
ATC. Oh,
Yeah.
that's your new one.
Yeah. Yep. I've
Yeah,
tried it
that's
a few
pretty sick.
times. I started back flying it finally. It's pretty fun. That's
Someday.
awesome. Yeah.
Someday.
It's fast. It's fast. It can be sort of slow, but it's pretty quick. It's a nice suit. It's like intermediate to advanced suit. But like if you follow Squirrel's progression
Yeah.
chart, the ATC4 kind of lines up in all the categories.
So
Speed,
for those just listening to the podcast, Joe is showing us one of his Halloween decorations.
oh,
It's a skeleton hanging from his ceiling wearing his ATC4 wingsuit. And it looks
there
awesome.
you go. It's because I
Yeah.
got a black light. I ended up coloring the
The eyes.
the eyes and the face and the teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, it was a little harder to get to stay up there than I thought. I had to position its expenditures opposite, so when it was hanging, the joints wouldn't bend.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, right.
I had to turn his legs around and his arms
Yeah,
around.
yeah. So as if they were gonna break, there's tension on
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was. And the legs weren't that big of a deal. The arms, however, are like they snap in and out. Like
Okay.
so like if you turn them so far, they kept popping out
They
of
pop
the
out,
joint.
yeah.
So I had to rig it up. Some zip ties.
Zip ties will work. I was gonna say, did you wire it together?
I zip
But, yeah.
tied that baby
Zip ties work.
together. It's so far it's holding on.
Right on. Are you planning on jumping Friday?
Ooh, good question. That's a good question.
I think it's the only day this week that I can jump. So I think it's gonna be just like last Friday. Go and do it, and leave in time to pick up my kid from school.
Let me just see what the weatherman has to say.
Oh,
There
geez,
we go.
look at you.
Yeah,
Look at
man.
you. So now Joe,
So-
for those listening, has shared his screen again and is now showing weather forecast
Springfield.
from
Friday.
windy.com.
So Friday. That doesn't look too bad.
No, it's
I
kinda,
mean, I don't know. It's gusty.
you're looking in the 30s, 30 knots. Is that what that's saying?
No, this is mile per hour. I have it
Oh,
in
okay.
mile per hour. So the top number in the wind row is constant wind speed or forecasted wind speed, and then
Yeah.
the bottom number is the predicted gusting. So
Does it give you
it
the
could
direction?
gust up to 30. Yes, coming out of the west northwest. All
Is that
day.
what the arrows are?
Yeah.
Then
Yep.
okay.
Yep. Yeah, I like this app, man. It's like $18 a year, and you can get really like I can take it and bring down the altitude for the winds, like what altitude I want it to read.
Yeah. So it shows winds aloft and stuff too. Then.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff you can do with it. I have like I use the Bare Essentials for what I use it for.
Those that you were just looking at, is that surface winds then? Gusting up to 30
Yes.
at the
Yes.
surface?
Surface, yes. So That would be, where is it? That's really easy to find on there we go. It's really easy to
See,
find on the app, but
I don't know. I'd still go. Gusting up to 30? Like,
yeah, I wouldn't.
well, I'm not saying I would jump, but I would go. I would go to like assess in person. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't even bother.
Really?
I Gusting 30 miles an hour, dude.
Well, yeah, but what if it's not gusting 30 miles? I mean, it could
Windy's
be.
pretty good. Therefore, I mean, this is only 2 days from now.
Hmm. You're killing me, dude. This
You're
is like
killing me, Schmalls.
this is this is the Friday is the day that I can jump. You're
Yeah,
killing me.
yeah. Saturday looks really good.
I know, but I can't jump on Saturday, dude.
Why not?
Kids, it's kid weekend.
Yeah, dude, Saturday looks sweet.
Well,
It's coming out of the northwest ish.
it is only one kid, and maybe I can get her to go with me on
But
Saturday.
yeah, but they're only forecasting 4 miles per hour. Average a 10 mile per hour gust. That's not that bad. It's pretty good.
All right, maybe I can make Saturday work. Are you going on Saturday?
There we go. I found it. No, the Halloween party's Saturday.
Uh,
I gotta finish getting stuff ready. Yeah, here you can change it to
I
like I
see
have it
that.
set for 330 feet,
Yeah.
and it'll tell you what the wind's doing at 330. Or the next one I think is 2,000. You can probably dial it in further, but yep, it's cool.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah,
I used to use ForeFlight. Like when I was a pilot, I would just use ForeFlight for Winds Aloft, but it's like $100 a year, and now that I'm not
oof,
flying, I don't have it anymore. That used to
yeah,
be what I used to check winds.
that's pretty pricey. $100 a year for a weather app.
Well, it's not just a weather app. It's literally it's a pilot thing, so it's like navigation. Like you
It's on your
can
phone. It shows you where other
file flight
traffic
logs
is,
and like all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
tail
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen it.
more than just weather, but it has outstanding weather capabilities. Yeah. Uh, so, anyways, you had a topic idea for the we got all kind of distracted there with the weather and Halloween and all kinds of stuff. But what did you want to talk about this week?
What did I want to talk about? No, I think we
Yeah.
can talk about sort of the type of mindsets that some people have getting into skydiving. You know,
Sure. Yeah.
why they get into it, things of that nature.
Well, I mean, I know certainly why I do it. I think I probably have a somewhat of a unique reason, but I think generally it's like a bucket list thing for a lot of people, right? Like, oh, I got to jump out of an airplane before I die. You turn 40 and you're like, ah, I got to go do a tandem skydive, you know? Wouldn't you say that's usually how people get into it?
Yeah, I think so. I think most people get into it like that. I mean, I did a tandem one day, and then I never jumped again for a while, and then I got into it because I wanted to base jump
Yeah.
when I was young. Like I wanted to get into base jumping because that was the craziest thing you could do, man. Like when I was a teenager, I'm like,
Well,
that's what I want.
it still is, right? Isn't it still the most dangerous sport in the world?
I think, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think so.
Statistically wise, probably.
Absolutely. Statistically.
Yeah.
Like from a statistical standpoint, absolutely, yes. It has to be.
Yeah, so I mean, that's why I got
Yeah.
into it. But now I do it because it's fun and it makes me happy.
Yeah. So I think the better question is not why did you get into it, but why do you? I think the better question is why do you keep jumping?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
uh, you do that tandem, right? And you're either bit or you're not. You know what I mean? So some people do one tandem and that's it for the rest of their life. Some people do that tandem and then they're like, I got to do this all the time. You know?
Yeah.
So
Um,
for you, what was that? I got to do this all the time. Like, why? What is that in you?
Dude, it's gonna. I mean, not that I don't like talking about it, but it's like sounds so cheeseball. But I was like, I'm gonna get into skydiving and base jumping, and then if I die, oh well, because
Well, if it's something that you're passionate about and it's something that you
yeah, I
love
mean,
doing,
I
there's
didn't
there's
care. It
definitely an
was,
argument for,
yeah,
hey, he maybe he died base jumping, but he died doing what he liked doing.
yeah, but
He
like,
went in with the best of them.
but yeah, I mean, I've struggled with depression and stuff like that, anxiety, you know, uh,
Sure.
but it's like when I did start base jumping, I was like, man, this is amazing. Like, I don't want to die. I want to keep doing this. I want to live so I can do this.
You've seen, well, maybe you haven't, but I've definitely seen some testimonials from people where they what literally they say, skydiving or base jumping saved their lives. Like, actually, I think Jeb Corliss is one of them. He says that the way that he grew up in his home life and all kinds of stuff, like he was ready to be out,
Yeah.
and he found base jumping, and he
Dude,
found
I
a
mean,
reason to live.
I still have those days, where my brain will try to mind fuck me.
Sure.
It's like, all right, dude, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, if I get ran over by a bus crossing the street today, I don't care. But then they pass, right? They
Yeah, well,
pass.
that's the hope, certainly. I mean, I haven't struggled with thoughts like that, but have a kid who has, and
Well,
I know as a parent, like, holy, like you have to
that's
really
definitely a big
take that
reason.
seriously, and
Yeah,
that's like a no joke sort of thought process.
yeah, um, yeah. My kid's probably one of the major, probably the number one contributing factor, like that I choose to keep
T-
going every day.
Oh, I was gonna say for you to want to go jump off of cliffs.
No, no, I want to do that. I want to do all that and buildings and antennas and bridges, but as safe as possible, you know,
Yeah,
because I know she'll miss me when I'm gone.
sure. So, I think we are treading very lightly on that line of, one, why do people like us do this or want to, do more risky things? And is that selfish or not? Like I think
Um, man,
that's a
that's a good
different
question because
it's a different topic. I think that's a different episode, but I think we're treading right there on that idea
I
of,
think we could
you
talk
know,
about it a little bit. We don't have to get into it
yeah, sure.
big time. I mean, bass is definitely a selfish sport.
Yeah, I would even go so far as to say, skydiving is too. Like we just talked to
Yeah,
Fluffy, like he could have ruined his life. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like it sounds like he wasn't far away from doing it. So I mean, I'd even go so far as to say that skydiving is selfish, or riding motorcycles even. If you're
Yeah.
out there with your 1100 cc crotch rocket going
R1
280
baby.
miles an hour, yeah,
No,
R1,
you don't go
whatever.
that fast.
I'm I have
Whatever.
an Indian, all right. Like I don't I don't go over 80
Mm-hmm.
ever. So
Did you ever get the speed wobbles with it?
no, I'm
No,
I'm
never.
careful. I'm careful, man. The
Yeah.
only thing I've ever gotten speed wobbles on is a skateboard,
Oh God.
which is terrifying.
Yeah, man. Especially if you're bombing something.
Yeah, no, I've never gotten speed wobbles on it.
Ugh, I got speed wobbles once on my R1. It was pretty hairy.
I can imagine. Yeah,
Well, thankfully it came with a steering damper, like stock, so it helped take out the.
right. Yeah. Okay.
Oh shit, this is it.
Yeah. No, I ride a Scout bobber. It is not a high
Yeah.
performance
Is it
bike
a one
by any
seater
means. Yeah, yeah, but I've got the little pad
that
on the
goes on the
back for her.
fender?
Yeah, yeah, she likes
Nice,
to ride with me.
nice.
Um, yeah, so we're getting off topic again here. So, you were saying that you got into skydiving because you wanted a base jump, and base jumping makes you happy. Like it fulfills something in you
Yeah,
that makes you
ultimately,
happy.
ultimately, what I found out at once I started getting into it, and once I finally did get the base jump, after getting so much skydiving in, and when I started base jumping, it was more of a mentorship type atmosphere,
Sure.
So that's how I learned originally. I'm still very entry level base. Um, I have 100 base jumps, so that's entry level in my mind. I think it should be for anybody. But
Yep.
once I finally did get the base jumping, like I was like, oh man, this is amazing. I love it.
So, what really intrigues me about base jumping is you can do it anytime you want. Like,
Within reason, yeah.
yeah.
You're still captive to the weather. I mean,
Well, of course
if you're being safe,
that goes without saying. Like,
yeah. But I know what you mean.
all of this
I
is
feel that way
weather
too, right?
dependent.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel that way too. Like if the weather's good, I don't have to pay $35 to go to 13,000 feet and wait 2 hours to get on a load.
Right. But
Although
you just
it could take me 3 hours to get to my exit point and get off and land safely.
yeah, but that's different. That's literally from the time you get out of your car to the time that you get back into your car, you are base jumping,
You're on
right?
the mission,
Like
man.
it's the process, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the mission to do what you set out to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to walk back down.
Well,
You
yeah, if you
know.
get there and you find out that, things are shitty, then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that goes back to, decision making, right? And making good
Smart
decisions
decisions, yeah.
and not being an asshole.
Know your know your limits, right? Know
Yeah.
what your capabilities are, and fly. Just jump or fly or whatever it may be. Skydive just below that. You
I
know.
feel like that's what I did on Friday. I feel like I made a good decision. Like it was the wins were definitely wins that I jumped in before, and everything was fine. Um, but there was like a little tiny pang of uneasiness, and
Mm-hmm.
so I thought instead of going all the way up, I'll just do a hop and pop. I'll test things out and just see how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if I don't like it, I won't jump again. And I didn't like it, so I didn't jump again. Like, like
Eventually, you'll get there to be like, man, this is questionable. I just think I'm gonna hang out.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah. I I
The
knew it
only
was
guaranteed,
questionable.
the only guaranteed way you're not gonna get hurt, dude, is if you just don't jump.
Well, yes, but
Yes.
we're also there to jump.
No, I'm
Like
just saying,
that's
like if you're on the border, if you're on the line, if you're on your threshold of are my canopy skills good enough to jump in this kind of wind, and you're right at your threshold, probably should just call it. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe that would have been the better choice, but there's also an
but hey,
argument for
you got away with it, right?
yeah. Well, there's also an argument for skill building too. Like you don't get better if you don't fly in
Different
you
types
know
of winds, right?
maybe
Yeah.
questionable conditions. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like it would be fine, so I did it, and it was. It
You're
wasn't
still
great,
here.
but it was fine. So yeah, yeah.
Just your hop and pop wasn't great. Just is it wind bumpy?
It was literally the last 500 feet were it was just horrible,
Oh yeah, pushing you all over
gusty
the
and
place. What was
variable, and yeah,
what was
it
the
was all
landing
over.
direction?
We were supposed to south, literally straight south.
Also, you're landing towards the fence.
Yeah, Yeah.
Nice.
No, it was. Yeah. No, it wasn't. It wasn't ideal. Yeah.
Well, you made it.
Yeah. So, like I said when we first started this topic, I think I have maybe a little bit of a unique reason for continuing to jump. And maybe it's not unique, but I haven't met anybody with the same reason. Um, I started jumping because last year I turned 40, and Eric and I were talking about bucket list things, and I said I wanted to fly a wingsuit, and she bought me my A license essentially for my birthday, so that I could get the 200 jumps and start wingsuiting. Um, but once I started, like that first IAD jump, like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do a tandem at SPA or anything. I just went right into IAD, and I did that IAD jump, and was holding on to the strut of the 182, and you put your feet off the
Oh my
platform,
god.
and you just feels like you're flying like Superman for like 3 or 4
Yeah.
seconds, and then you give her on the nod and you let go, and you watch the plane fly away, and you pitch, and you got dude in the radio talking you down and all that kind of stuff. It was uh it was as if time stood still for me. Like
Yeah.
there's only a few moments in my life where um I was truly in the moment. Like nothing else mattered. Nothing else mattered. And that was one of them. The only other times was in firefights when I
Yeah.
was in the
Yeah.
army.
Right.
Like
Yep.
like when rounds are going downrange,
That's what I feel.
and
That's how I feel about bass, man. It's like
you're just nothing else matters.
you're
Time
in the
slows
present.
down, and it's just what is happening right now is the only thing that matters. And I didn't realize it, but I think from the time that I was in my last firefight, which was 2005, to that IAD jump, I think I was looking for that. Like I think I was looking for something that was exhilarating,
Mm-hmm.
that makes you feel present and in the moment, and like nothing
Gives you
else
that
matters.
gives you that fight or flight, but on a whole new level.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And as soon as I did that IAD jump, like I was, fuck it, this is what I'm doing. This this is what I've wanted. And actually even before that, so when my wife and I got married, we went on our honeymoon in Maine, and we did tandem skydives, and we whitewater rafted. And right after that tandem, I like in the video, the guy's just doing his stupid tandem bullshit video stuff, and I say I want to come and do this every single day, and he
Yeah.
said, "Get your license and you can." And I said, "All right, I will,"
Okay.
and I
See you
did.
tomorrow.
Yeah, but like, I had no idea what "get your license" means or anything like
Yeah.
that. But even then, it was, I want this. Like I want this feeling. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's what it is for me. It's not. I wouldn't say it's like adrenaline or anything like that. It's just it makes me feel good. Like to just um not worry about anything else for that minute of free fall, and then the 5 minutes under canopy. That minute of free fall, there's nothing else that matters.
You're focused, dude. That's it.
Yeah, nothing
You're in the
else.
present moment, right?
Yep, yep.
And most people tend not to live in the present moment.
And then
Right?
even
You try to plan your future from remembering the past, and then you visualize the past and the future and make sure that you're not going to do what you did in the past. And while you're doing all that, you're not living exactly
right,
right now.
right,
You're not living in the present.
yeah,
Maybe you're at work that day, or doing whatever, but your brain can just run and be like, oh no, what's going to happen if this? What's going to happen if that? What am I going to do? And, you know,
Yeah.
this happens.
Well, what's interesting, I think, is that even like when you're under canopy, like I love both parts. Like some people are like, I just want to free fall. Some people are like, I just want to fly my canopy. I love both parts.
Me too.
And and even being under canopy, what a lot of people don't realize if they're not a skydiver is that that's the dangerous part. No one's ever died in free
Canopy?
fall. Yeah.
Well, that's not true. Or not, I got to look it up.
Okay.
Anybody
If
died for
if
that?
if you're gonna cross T's and dot I's, I'm sure somebody has died in free fall. But that
Had a
is
heart
not
attack.
that is or got kneed in the head, meat missile or something. But typically the canopy is the more dangerous part. Like that is when
Hmm.
people get hurt.
Well, that's just because now you're under basically your life saving
Well, yeah, you got to do stuff.
device.
You got to
You know,
do stuff. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
if you fuck something up too low, then
Hmm.
you're in trouble.
Yeah. And so the idea of the free fall where you are completely 100% present in the moment, it's the only thing else that matters. And then transitioning from that to throwing your pilot chute and then just being ready. Like,
Okay,
do
what's
I
gonna
have
happen?
do I have to fix something? Like, is it gonna work? Like what do I gotta do? Like I'm expecting a malfunction. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I'm just like, what do I have to do to fix this problem that hasn't even happened yet? You know what I
yeah.
mean?
So that actually reminds me of something. What back in the day when we first started base jumping, I think Andy Kenny and I took a trip out to the Prine, and one dude was out there. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm just out here to get current," and all he did all day was unpack jumps, tards, tard overs, rollovers. I'm like, how are you getting current? I guess with unpack jumps, if you're getting current,
Yeah.
you're not packing, you're not doing any object avoidance drills, etc. But yeah, I try to every time I do a base jump, I try to pick something like, okay, this time I'm going to get to my toggles as fast as I can. You know, this time I'm going to make sure that I'm pointed this way as fast as I can. And then, like before I jump, I'll go through. Okay, what if this happens? Okay, if I turn left, I'm going to do this. If I turn right, I'm going to do this. If I have a tension on,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. You just try to run through the scenarios so when it does happen, your brain doesn't just stop and go, I wasn't expecting this.
And listeners, he has actually shown me videos of him getting ready to do a base jump where he's going through the motions. Like, you know, he throws his pilot
Dude, if
chute
I'm by
and then
myself, man,
hands
I
are up,
record
and
my
then
I
he's
rec-
on the toggles, and then he's
yeah.
literally rehearsing the entire thing. Yeah, ninja arm movements.
But if I'm by myself, I literally I'll video my gear check. I'll
Hmm.
video my gear up, and then I'll video myself geared up, like pin flap open, turn everything towards the camera. It helps me pay attention to what I'm doing. And then if something does happen, then it's easier for somebody to. Nobody's going to see anything that hasn't happened before, right? Almost all the mistakes you can make in base have happened. That's why they have the BFL, which is the base fatality list.
Yeah.
I've read the whole thing. You can read the whole thing if you want. It's almost 500, something like that.
Speaking of the BFL, maybe you haven't heard it yet. I think it just came out today. The newest episode of Exit Point.
I know I saw it, but I did not listen to it.
It's a good one. It's talking all about someone
Base
going
courage.
going in and then recovering the body and all
Oh
kinds
yeah,
of stuff like that.
yep,
It's a good one. It's a really good one to listen to.
yeah. Um, I think there's a lot of people that just think that's not going to happen to me, man.
Well,
It's not going to happen to me.
I think you kind of have to have that mentality a little bit, don't
No,
you? Like
no.
you're just
I
expecting it all the time.
everything to go good.
No, everything to go bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that's what you prepare for, right? The
Right.
worst malfunctions, all that
Well,
stuff,
yeah, that's
and mentally
that's
prepare yourself that this could be the last jump.
that's what I'm saying.
You
Like,
could get
you know,
mangled or maimed on this one if you
yeah,
do
you
this.
you have to maybe not necessarily expect bad things to happen, but be ready for them to happen.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like when I throw my pilot chute and I'm those 2 seconds, before I know whether I have a good canopy or not, that might be the most exciting part of a jump for me. Just because I'm like, what's gonna happen? I have no idea. Did I do a good job? Like, let's see what happens.
You might, I mean, depending on how much you jump, you might get to 1,000 jumps and not have a malfunction. There's people that's gotten to 10,000 jumps and
Yeah.
never had a malfunction.
I I haven't had one. I mean, other than line twist, but technically a malfunction, but I don't
What I
really think
count,
so.
what I get, I mean, technically it's classified as a low speed malfunction,
Right. But
but
it's not
that
a
could be
malfunction.
that could be user error.
Sure.
You're
Yeah,
spinning,
absolutely.
you're spinning at deployment, or you packed your D bag crooked
Yeah.
backwards.
Um, but I will say I'm not going to purposefully pack a malfunction, but I wouldn't mind if it happened sooner rather than later, just to get it over with. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing, dude. If you're gonna keep jumping, there's no getting it over with, right?
Well, I mean, like I said, you could pack one. You could cause a
Well, I'm
malfunction.
just saying. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you're gonna
But
keep jumping. There's a possibility you're gonna have a malfunction.
yeah, of course.
So just
I
getting
w-
over with it doesn't mean you're not gonna have another one
well,
or a different one.
I would just like for the first one to happen.
Experience, yeah.
Yeah, just
That's
that.
not. It's not that awesome, dude.
Well,
Like
I
it's
would
not.
imagine that
It's
it's
not
not.
super scary. I mean, I guess Mine haven't been. I mean, well, two of them were kind of. The first one I ever had was spinning line twists, the Saber 2 under in my
And
Swift.
yeah, and that's a cutaway, like spinning line twist. That's a cutaway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, as soon as I opened, I was twisted up and perpendicular to the horizon. Like there was nothing I could do. I didn't even
yeah,
bother unzipping my wings or anything. I just I chopped. And then the other one that was was it? I mean, I wouldn't say it was scary, but like it happens so fast, right? But it also happens like slow.
well, yeah. Time slows down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I had a partial canopy collapse over the runway at like 1,500 feet, and I chopped it at 1,200 because it collapsed and then spun me up, pinned my head forward, and I
oh,
couldn't
that one.
see.
Yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't see anything, and I was spinning, and I'm like, nah, mate, I got
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. I think with clarification through discussion, I think I want that decision making. I want to make that decision sooner rather than I don't want to have a malfunction, but I want to.
You want to have the experience.
Yeah,
You just want to
I
experience it for yourself.
yeah I want to
Well, that's the
look.
excitement,
You
man.
know, I want to look up and be like, all right, fuck, EPs, and then just see what that's like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Every one of mine, I've had. Nah, I don't know if I had video in the tracking suit one, the canopy collapse. Both my wingsuit ones I had video on. And like as the malfunction was happening, like in real time when I was experiencing it, like spinning and assessing the situation and everything, like time just slows down, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, I have all this time. Like, oh, all right, I better just do this. I'm at like 2 grand. I gotta spin myself into the ground. So I chop, and then I watched a video, and it's like boom, boom.
Super
Like,
fast.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm spinning. Oh, try to stop. No, unzip. Altitude. Try. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
And chop. It's just, it definitely happens in real time. Like it feels like slow motion.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. About a firefight. Like time slows down. Like it's almost literally like I don't want to say like being in the Matrix when like everything's all slow and like bullets and shit, but you know, it's things slow down. Like
Yeah,
it's
I've
just
had
the way it
that.
is. And
I've had
then
the same thing happen to
yeah,
to me on a, on my motorcycle.
sure, yeah,
Totally self-induced. I was riding wheelies and I shifted with a little too high RPM, and the R1 came up like this,
yep,
and my brain my brain. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever experienced before. My brain just went to, all right, dude, you're crashing. Like, and I was already hearing the scrapes and shit off the ground.
right.
And next thing I know, the bike comes down. I speed wobble a little bit, and I'm like, holy shit, man. And what had
I'm
happened,
okay.
yeah, I mean, the bike was like 12 o'clock.
Right.
And the only thing that pushed me back down is I had this pair of boots on, and my foot got stuck, like, almost between the frame and the chain. So
Okay.
it, like, created friction to slow the bike,
Yeah.
like it was putting brakes on.
Yeah.
And that's what brought me back down. Because this whole side of my shoe was just, like,
Tore
ground
up.
out from chain.
Yeah. Wow.
So it was weird though, because my brain just accepted it like that fast. Like
Yeah.
my brain accepted it, and I'd already heard the sounds of me crashing and skidding and sliding down the road, and then the next thing I'm on two wheels. I'm like, holy shit! So it was nuts, but yeah,
Yeah. It's kind of amazing what your brain can comprehend in just
milliseconds.
yeah. I was gonna say just the
Yeah,
tiniest amount of time. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, it's not a probably not a story for today, but I mean very similar when I was injured in a car bombing. It was just
Okay.
as it was happening. All right, I'm dead.
Yeah,
Like,
man, it's crazy when you're in that kind of scenario.
yep,
I mean, obviously mine wasn't as insane as a car bombing or being shot at, but like it's amazing your brain just accepts the fact like I'm getting
yep,
fucked up.
yep.
Like
All right,
this is
I'm
gonna
done.
I'm either dead or this is gonna hurt really bad.
Yep. One of the two. Like
Hmm.
just what do I need to do now to not die?
Yeah,
Is that even possible? Like, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, yeah.
But yeah, it's weird, man. I don't know.
So, what do you think what do you think it is in a person that so like my wife Erica, she says jumping is boring. She is indifferent.
Some people are like that, man.
She's
Like
yeah, she's done it
Wilbur,
twice.
John Wilbur, that used to jump when I started jumping, and he did tandem videos. Um, I got my AFFI, and he decided to become a TI. Like he did bridge day once and was like, "This is boring. I'm never doing this again." I don't know if he ever did base jump again. I don't know. But some guys do that. You know, they skydive and they go, "Okay, I want to try base jumping," and some of them are like, "Yeah, not for me." You know, that was boring or whatever. And some people just like I got into it to base jump, and that's like still my goal. That's another reason why I keep going. Like last year, I finally picked everything back up, bought a couple rigs, bought a base rig. You know, went and took a refresher course. Went to Europe. Went to Bridge Day this year. You know, just keeping current is because
Mm-hmm.
I want to wingsuit base eventually. Doesn't mean I doesn't like. Would it be cool to terrain fly and proximity fly? Yeah. Will I ever get to do that? I don't know. Maybe. It's
Well, like
it's a
that's
long.
what
I got a
you're
long way to go.
yeah,
Right.
but that's what you're talking about. Like when you say wingsuit base jump, like you want to fly lines, right? Like that's
If I ever
that's
get there,
the
that'd be
goal,
cool.
right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be the ultimate goal. But I'm not expecting myself to get there because it takes a really long time, man. I mean, in my opinion, like
Well, yeah, of course.
do I have the number of base jumps and the required number of wingsuit base jumps to take a first base jump course? Some people, yes. Would I take one now? No, I'm not comfortable enough. Like, so I'm gonna go tracking. I'm gonna base jump. Go big wall
Yeah.
tracking for a while, and then just keep skydiving my wingsuit.
So let me ask you this, and I feel really like just such a noob. Um, but when we're skydiving and people are saying, "Oh, I'm doing a tracking jump,"
Hmm.
right? Why? Like, what is a tracking jump for? Like, first, my thought when someone says I'm doing a tracking jump is they jump out of the airplane, they orient themselves perpendicular to jump run, and then they just track away, right? They just fly. Is that it? That's all they're doing?
Yeah, practice the tracking depends on what they're. Some guys just like the track. Some guy, I mean, angle flying is essentially a form of tracking.
Or like
You know,
movement
because you have
flying?
forward descent as you're coming down,
Yeah.
right? So that's a lot of people angle fly in groups. It's cool. It's fun. Tracking in groups is fun. But to get to that point, you have to jump and track by yourself till you start getting proficient. And then you can start jumping, tracking with a second person and then a third person. And then, maybe you get up to angle flying and then maybe you decide you want a tracking suit. You
Okay.
know?
All right. So, yeah, to me, tracking is just a tool to create separation from other people.
Well,
You know what I
that's
mean?
basically what tracking is meant for in base jumping, in my opinion,
Yeah.
is to
Yeah.
separate yourself from whatever object you are, as much horizontal separation as you can after you exit to where you need the pool to
When it
deploy safely.
when it starts is what they call that, right? That's when it
What?
starts. Like your suit or your tracking suit or your wingsuit, like
Yeah,
it starts.
yeah.
That's the
Basically, as soon as you can get flying, right?
yeah.
They either call it, "Hey, it's a short start," quick
Right. Yeah.
starting. It's a quick starting wingsuit,
Yeah.
just like the Aura 5 and the Corvette, like they're quick starting. You
Yeah.
got to know what you're doing. I mean, obviously, you got to have the skill to fly it. You got to have your exits like down,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. So, but like when people say I'm doing a tracking jump, they are doing what I think they're doing. They're just getting out and tracking.
Yeah, then they could just be practicing to get better.
All right.
You know,
All right.
there's days where I like to backtrack, like take a group of 3, 4 people and be like, "Hey, I'll backtrack, and you just steer me." And then someone will track it above me, and they'll go, "Okay, that way," and I'll just be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So, I mean, it's just fun, just something else to do other than just falling straight down the.
Yeah. Well, I guess I mean I am still new. I've only got just a handful over 100 jumps. So I was like, why are people doing this? I don't understand why people
Uh,
are doing these tracking jumps. Like, what is the purpose of this? You know what I mean? I can see it being fun with other people. Like, that would
mhm.
be fun. Yeah. But just tracking by yourself?
I don't know, man. It just depends on the person, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like some people, all they do is hop and pops because they want to learn
Fly
to
the
swoop,
canopy. Yeah.
right? They want to learn a canopy and fly, learn how to swoop, or just be a better canopy pilot. Some people do nothing but big ways. They belly fly.
Right.
That's all they
Yeah.
do is belly fly, and you know, they're on big way records and stuff like that. Some people are just free flyers, and they're on, you know, head up records or head down records or, you know,
Speaking of free flying, did you see Danny's video where his camera mount broke?
yeah, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good point. Yeah, that's a good subject to talk about too.
Well, I mean,
Um,
you got to give him props. He did a good job, I think.
well, yeah,
Like, I think
but
he did a really
he's
good job.
also got his coach rating. I think he has like almost 300 jumps. Like, so he's a good flyer. Like he knows what he's doing, so he didn't panic, right?
Right.
And that's why they have the 200. The USPA has the 200 jump minimum required to jump with a camera.
Yeah.
Imagine, like I commented, imagine someone who just got their A license. It's their 26th jump, and they strap a fucking camera on their head, and that happens to them.
It would
You know what I
probably
mean?
wouldn't go well. You know.
Probably not.
No. They'd uh they'd pitch and get all tangled up probably.
Who knows? Who
But
knows? But it wouldn't be good,
no,
right?
it wouldn't. But so I guess for the listeners who haven't seen this guy's doing a horny gorilla, a two-way horny gorilla out of the I don't know, looked like King Air. But anyways,
Hmm.
doing a horny gorilla, and they're doing their thing, and he has like one of those
It's like a
narwhal
unicorn.
mounts. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's a
looks like a
unicorn.
unicorn
It
thing
goes
sticking
out
off the
front,
top of his
but
head.
it's more like a. It's not like a snag free mount. Like
No, not at
I
all.
have the Adrenaline Sports one
Yeah,
snag free. It's more like the old GoPro style,
yeah,
with it has the post that comes down and it snaps in, and then the
yeah,
camera comes out to the side like this, and like it's all snag hazard right there.
yeah, yeah. So it must have just been air pressure or whatever, but broke the mount. The camera's flopping around on his head because he's got the tie offs. He's got
Tether.
the
He's
tethers.
got a
Yep.
tether on it. Lucky dude.
Yeah. So he grabs the unicorn mount thing,
Yeah,
rips it off
360.
his helmet. Yeah,
Yeah.
rips it off his helmet. Finishes his skydive. Actually, does some head up stuff. Like he stands up while he's holding on to the camera.
It's
Uh,
it's
and
funny
then,
because as he's trying to get it off, you can see him spinning.
yeah, yeah, you can.
I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. But I just thought it was so funny that even after all that, like he got it under control and he's like, looks at his altimeter, he's like, I got time. Like, let's do some head up stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it
And
gets like that too, man. Like
yeah,
the more you jump, the slower time goes.
yeah,
Like your first few skydives, you're like, sensory overload. What's going on? Holy shit, that was fast. And then, before you know, you have a few hundred jumps, and it's like, shouldn't
uh-huh,
we be pulling? Like, should we be pulling by now or tracking
yeah,
by now? And like, without even looking at your altimeter, and you're like, oh yeah.
yeah. We're still at 7,000. We
Your
got
brain
plenty of
goes,
time.
we should be, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You get used to
yeah.
that.
But
Like,
anyways, I just thought Danny did a great job. Like that was
yeah, I did a good, yeah, man,
yeah,
he definitely did a good job. And that's a video where I see, and then I hear some new jumper, 30 jump goes, why can't I jump a camera? Why is it 200 jumps?
that's why.
That's why, dude.
Yeah. And I'll admit I would like to jump with a camera, but I can't. But
Dude,
I'd like
honestly,
to.
what I think we talked about this with Jeff a little bit too. Like, honestly, looking back when I hit 200 jumps, I had a GoPro on. And a lot of times it was stressing me out more than anything because I'd be worrying about, is my camera on?
Right.
Was it time should I push record now or wait to the door or
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. You know,
Well,
and
it's
then
what
when
it's just another distraction.
yeah,
That's
all
what it is.
I
You
think
know.
at 200 jumps, it stressed me out, I think, more than it did, you know, do me any good.
Yeah,
And,
and
a lot of times
honestly,
a lot of times if you're flying by yourself or jumping by yourself,
there's nothing to record anyways.
what are you gonna
Like,
see?
yeah.
The ground in the sky,
Yeah.
the ground in the sky.
That's it.
Nobody wants
Yeah.
to see your POV jump, dude.
No.
Like, only took me so many videos of watching my own POV jumps. Like, this is stupid. Like, why am I watching this? Nobody else wants to watch this. So the only time I wear a camera now is, if I'm doing coach jumps or AFF. So having something to show the student after we're done to debrief really helps. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot better to be able to see the video than me just explaining what you did wrong. You can actually see it, and I can see right here what you did right here. And they're like, yeah. Or two, if I'm wingsuiting, like, and I want to see my deployments, like I'll film that. Or if I'm doing a multi-way, so I can get outside video of other people. If I'm just jumping by myself, like, I don't even film on my base jumps either.
No.
I didn't film a single jump the last prime trip I took. I didn't even take a camera with me.
I'm sure at some point you get there, right? Like, just like jumping itself, it becomes just a thing that you're doing. Whether you have a video of it or not, doesn't matter.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the live in the moment, living in the present moment type of thing.
Yep. Absolutely. And it's just funny because, we live in this day and age where literally
Instant gratification.
instant gratification, but also it didn't happen if you don't have a video because
Oh,
everybody has
it's
a
Instagram,
video
man.
camera. Everybody, all the time. And it's
If you're doing it
It's
for
just,
Instagram, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. like especially base jumping.
I
You're
think
doing it for
it's
clicks and views, and maybe maybe it's not a good idea.
it's almost like therapy for me, I think, jumping. Like I feel better afterwards,
Oh, for sure,
you know?
for sure. I'm in a much better mood,
Yeah.
even the
Yeah.
day after.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's not just the immediate after. It's, like I said, for a day, maybe even two sometimes.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I think the reason I keep doing it too is I'm 43, and it went like that. And if I'm lucky, I'm only halfway.
If you're lucky. Yeah,
You know.
I
But
agree.
on the other hand, I'd think like, wow, if I'm lucky, I'm already halfway. Like, dude, blink of an eye, man. It went like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sit back and I think in my brain like, dude, I'm 43. And I remember thinking when I was younger, like, man, I wonder what it's gonna feel like when I'm 40. And now I'm 43, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, I don't feel any different. You know what I
No.
mean? It's not like you slowly start becoming an old man.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you'll age, but it's just that weird, like, what am I gonna feel like when I reach this age?
Like
And
there are people who thought I was nuts to start skydiving when I was 40. I was like,
why not?
40's not that old, man. Like,
Yeah,
plus, I mean, I am in a relatively unique situation in life, but do what you want. Like, do what makes you happy and like what
yeah,
fulfills you, and like fill your cup with good stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah, man. I
And
mean, if I had to,
for me,
I would
jumping is
want to.
good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I wouldn't want to redo life over, but like if I could, I would tell myself, do what makes you happy, not what's gonna make you money. You know,
Yeah,
like for the first half of my adult life, all I did was work overtime because I needed to get money, 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 money.
yeah,
You know, and
yeah,
really all you're doing
for
is
sure.
really all you're doing is spending your time.
Yep.
You know,
It's well, it's like being a pilot. You can trade altitude for speed, but
you're giving up something,
you're giving
right?
something up. Yep.
You want to give your time up for money to buy something that you're not going to enjoy anyway because you have to work so much, or do you want to do something that at first you don't make a lot of money and you're okay with that? And maybe you sleep in your car or your van or your tent or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
I've often thought that if heaven forbid something happened to Erica, or like say we split up or something, I'm not remarrying. I will be a DC dirtbag. Like I'm gonna sell everything, get a van, and I'm just
You
gonna
got kids. You got
drive
kids,
around
dude.
and jump. Uh, I will.
Once they're done with high school.
Yeah. Well, so all right. We don't need to get into the logistics of all this, but
Dude,
I
that's what I was gonna do. That's what I was gonna do 12 years ago. I'm like, that's it. I quit my
so
job. I'm gonna get my TI
so
along. I already got my AFFI. I'm just jumping all the time, man.
yeah. So
And then I ran out of money.
I have six kids. Two of them are in college. The other four, three of them are stepkids, and one's a biological kid. The youngest one, she's 11. So really, if something happened to my wife, those three stepkids would go to their dad because he's still around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
You know, I mean, I would obviously still be part of their life, but
yeah.
I wouldn't likely wouldn't be the person providing custody to them if their dad was still around.
Yeah.
Which really just leaves the 11-year-old, so I could be here half the week and be gone the other half of the week.
Well, you only got 7 more years to go.
I know, 7 more years, and then
It's,
Eric and I are just driving everywhere and jumping out of things.
but, yeah. Wouldn't it, that'd be nice.
That's
No
the plan.
show.
That's the plan, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone has a plan until it's not a plan.
Yeah, something else will happen. I doubt that'll happen. That's just my
Just
plan.
like everybody's a tough guy who wants to fight until they get punched in the face.
I think everybody.
But for some people that's they want to get punched in
Yeah.
the face. But I feel like, you know,
I think everybody should get punched in the face once in their life. Just
I've
one
been
time.
punched in the face more than once.
Well, yeah, yeah.
It's stupid, dude.
But
I was young.
everybody should experience that, just so they know. Just so they
Dude,
know what it's like.
Man, it humbles a person, right?
I agree. But
And
it
it makes
also
you
makes you
realize
think
that
twice
you-
about fighting.
Yeah.
You know, it makes
yeah,
you think twice. Like, don't be a fucking idiot. You know?
Yeah. Yep, I used to avoid fights, like, after I got into my 20s and 30s, and just, I could avoid that shit, man. Because you never know.
Well, you also become an
You know?
adult and you can make
Well,
better
yeah, but-
decisions.
Yeah, I mean, but say you're out, you get into some stupid argument with somebody you don't even know, and things get physical. So you knock the guy out, he whacks his head off the sidewalk, and he's dead because he hit the sidewalk and he cracked the back
Well,
of his skull.
Luckily
You
for
know?
us,
Was
there
it worth
are
it?
there are phones and cameras everywhere.
I know, but I'm
Somebody
saying,
will-
like, was that worth it?
no, of course
And
not.
what did you get in an argument about? You
S-
probably
prob-
don't even fucking remember.
Probably something stupid.
Probably something minuscule and dumb.
But if you had to defend yourself, then you did, and like that is okay. I think.
Well, yeah,
Like,
of course.
if you
'Cause
gotta
there are
defend it,
people
like,
out
you
there
have to.
that, you know, you can't fix stupid.
Yeah.
They've had their ass kicked 15 times, 20 times, and they just still do it.
Lately, I've just been getting my ass kicked by Natalie. She's been dragging me across the ground,
Yeah.
but I like it, so it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any real main qualification or category of what type of mentality gets into skydiving, because I think it can vary, right? Everybody gets into it for their own reason.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
there.
just because of tandem. Because
So-
there's been people that have gotten into AFF and never did a tandem. Like, they came to the DZ, they took the first jump course, they got into AFF, and then just never stopped.
Yeah, and I think to your point, people from all walks of life jump out of airplanes or
Yeah,
base
man,
jump. Like, you've got lawyers, you've got doctors, you've got bartenders, you've got just everybody. You know what I mean? And what's really cool is that on the drop zone, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you're the United States attorney or if you're the guy who makes pizzas down the road. Everybody's all the same. You know?
Pretty much. I mean, there's certain places there's cliques. You know, some people think they're
Well, yeah.
cooler than other people and talk shit, and I just try to avoid those guys.
There are definitely places that you'll find ego, but I
Hey,
think
did you see so and so do this? I'm like, yeah. So what? What?
I think for the most part,
How does that affect
people
me?
are pretty cool.
Yeah, I think overall,
Yeah.
you walk a straight line, so to speak, and not be that cocky a-hole.
Yeah,
You're gonna get along with pretty much everybody.
I agree.
Skydiving and base.
So we're gonna wrap this up because we're a little over an hour here, but we need to discuss offline how I can progress in base jumping this winter. I think I want to buy a rig and try to figure out how to start making that happen.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
First thing you gotta do is learn how to pack it.
I can learn how to do that. But anyways, yeah, that's something I want to talk to you about.
Cool.
All right. So for
Yeah,
all the
about that.
listeners, be sure to follow us. Well, first of all, thank you very much for listening. We have listeners all over the globe now. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
It's all like all over the place. So thank you very much for listening. By all means, check us out on social media. I think we're probably most active, at least at this point, on Facebook. So it'd be
I'll
facebook.com.
be honest, I have not done anything. I think I made a couple posts. I'm
Yeah.
horrible with social media.
It's pretty much been me, and I'm also horrible at it. But I think Facebook is probably going to be the place. But you can also find us on Instagram and X and YouTube. We're starting to put the videos of these episodes out on Facebook and YouTube as well. So just find us in your favorite podcast player and
Yeah. If you
engage
want
with
to,
us on the socials.
Yeah, if you want to give us some ideas or topics or questions to talk about, or
People to
you can
interview.
email us. Yeah, you can email us. at beerpodcast24@gmail.com.
That's
Shoot us
a
an email.
that's a good idea as well. Yeah, I think I was thinking about it earlier today, Joe. With winter coming, we may have a shortage of topics. So maybe we should come up with a list of people that
Nah,
maybe we
I don't
wanna
think
we wanna interview or talk to.
never a shortage of topics, man. We can talk about whatever we want.
That's true, but it should have something to do with falling out of airplanes,
Or off objects.
off objects. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. We can tie it in.
Okay. All right. We'll make it happen. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening, and we'll